Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keane on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keane. Today, we have a very fun guy on.
Straight away, wow.
Nobody laughed at my joke.
That one.
You know what? I was trying to make my fun guy joke. Anyway, yes. So today we have one of the founding members of the Non-Fungible Fungi on, which, as you guys know, we've been talking about a lot on the podcast. We're super excited to talk to HenryG. Henry, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for having me. I haven't done a podcast for a long time. I've done loads of Twitter Spaces recently for NFTs, but podcast is it's throwing it right back. It's anything could happen, anything could be deleted. You know, this is a spicy show. I'm hoping.
Ooh, spicy show.
Good to know.
Nothing's getting deleted off of here. Nothing's getting deleted.
We're doing great. We're super pumped.
Good,
personally,
man.
I've been a fan of the non-fungible fungi for a couple months now, and I'm up to like 13 of them. And
I've seen that. That is amazing. And I see you're like a specialist in the Myers, right? You're really like kind of handpicking those.
Yes, I'm trying to. Yeah, I have a little more than half of them are the Myers. I got some bogs, and I have a mint pass jar as well. And then I got Michael into them, and now he has a couple.
That's amazing. Like, go on.
Well, yeah. So Jennifer was talking about them. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Jennifer was talking about them for like a month or so, and talking about how she's been kind of building them up. And then I happened to see a tweet where somebody was talking about 3D projects, and they said there was only a couple of them that they thought have done it right. And they said, you guys are one of them. So I go, I do a lot of the stuff on feel. And I was like, all right, you know what? There's 2 endorsements there. So I bought 4, and then people in our Discord, in the NFT Catcher Discord, started buying them. There's probably about 10 people right now that have now bought in the Discord. It's like all the rage in the Discord. And so everyone's really excited for this episode. And then somebody was like, I'll tell you how little I looked into it before I bought. Somebody goes, did you buy Boggs or Myers? And I was like, I have no idea. It ended up that I bought 4 Boggs, and then I bought 1 Meyer, and now I have a 5-pack. And yeah, we're excited. Like,
to be fair, that's the kind of same strat I run. In most NFT projects I buy into, I don't like picking anything up but the floor. I love buying 4 items and I'm hoping to raise the floor. So I actually own 50 Boggs. That's my collection.
Damn.
I've been picking those up over time now. I've been hoping to catch the wave.
Nice.
The reason I do those because I love the fucking project as well. I think the art is so cool. I vibe with it so much, and it gives me like kind of like passion to turn up to work every day and make sure that I'm representing the brand in the best possible way, because it's like my absolute biggest bag. I think it's so great, and I love supporting it myself. It's great. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, and Jenny especially for planting the seed, I suppose, in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sure did. She sure did.
Perfect.
She planted the spores.
We need more fun guy jokes during this episode. Okay, so first of all, you're the business development manager for the Non-Fungible Fungi, right? And before we get into the project, tell us a little bit about your NFT journey. Take us back to when you first got started in NFTs. What was that like? What was your first NFT that you bought?
Sure. Yeah. God. So to throw it right back, I was quite known in another industry of esports, I suppose. I was working in esports for about 10 years or so, something like that. And I've always been quite deeply involved in crypto as well since about 2014. Always had kind of side hustles going on and always trying to work out new projects to get involved with. And that was the case right up until like, I suppose, 2020 or so. And my friend had told me about some of these cartoon cats that were minting, and explained what NFTs were to me. And it was a project that turned out to be an absolute disaster. It didn't work out, but I loved learning about it and the concept of getting the wallet and kind of understanding why you were buying into it. And like, honestly, it was great for me because learning from an initial fader, I was really upset. I was like, cool, like maybe you shouldn't trust everything your friends put in front of you, and do your own research and make sure you're actually following the correct paths here. And it inspired me to kind of learn what makes a good NFT project, I suppose, and kind of what people are looking for, how I would like to buy into a project and what hasn't been done. And in terms of the NFT journey, I suppose, like I was in this kind of ideation process after leaving esports, and I was taking a bit of a sabbatical. And just a surface level interest in NFTs, I suppose. I just like buying and learning about them, wasn't too heavily invested, but I certainly wanted to kind of spread my CDM network out, to throw back some fungal jokes. I wanted to learn more and get some more contacts. And it was actually when I went to a wedding in August of 2021, and it was like an old friend's esports wedding. So lots of old colleagues there. And I was telling people like what I was up to and how I'd started looking into this concept and how interesting it was and how I saw so much potential there. And it turns out my colleague, Sims, my now colleague, was at the wedding as well. And we were sat next to each other at the reception dinner. And we were just talking about NFT ideas and what he'd been looking into. And he said his friend, Elsie, who's now our head artist, had an idea for an NFT project. And they were looking to like kind of create a team and work out how they could start something together. And that's kind of really how Non-Fungible Fungi started. Like that was my first real experience, I suppose, in terms of being heavily invested. We didn't really have much to begin with as a team of three of us. I invested a bit of cash, and we commissioned the mushrooms to be made. And 6 months later, kind of here we are. It's been a very crazy journey, to be honest with you. It feels like 6 months in the NFT world is like 6 years, as I'm sure you know, and it feels like I've aged about 5 years in that process. But it's been a hell of a journey, and I've learned so much. Like every single day is a new learning experience, and for better or for worse, the NFT community keeps evolving, and it's one of the fastest paced industries I've ever been part of. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wait, so all of you guys have esports, or you and Sims have esport backgrounds?
Yeah, esports pedigree for sure. So I was a commentator in esports for 5 or 6 years. I was actually the UK's first ever professional gamer way back when as well. In 2005, like before esports was even a term. I was general manager of Cloud9, who you might have heard of. They're a big esports organization. I was manager there for 2020, 2021. And then, moved into NFTs. And similar story with Sims. He was another big esports commentator. And we both happened to be looking for a transition into a new industry at the same time. And it just kind of made sense. And we thought we'd hopefully leverage our brands and the fact we're fully doxed and people trust us, that we could do a good job and actually approach things correctly and put our name on the line. That's something we're very proud to do. Everything we're putting out there. We're one of the few projects that our faces and our names are very easy to find. We're an actual company based in the UK. Everything we do is legal and above board. And I think that's pretty difficult to find.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And what about Elsie, your artist, one of the founders? What is their story?
His story is kind of crazy. So believe it or not, he doesn't really have any formal education in 3D animation. He's never worked for a big studio or anything like that. He's 23 years old and a British guy. And we discovered his work and just realized how undervalued he was as an artist. And that's the beauty of the NFT space, I suppose. We're seeing the potential in someone and realizing they're underappreciated, or their potential is exponential at that point. Seeing when I first saw the artwork, I handed him my notice when anything else I was working on. I saw Elsie's artwork and thought, I've got to be involved with this guy. Like no one realizes how powerful this artwork is. And he was, I guess, esports based beforehand. He was basically making those intros on YouTube for people, for esports kind of YouTubers and creators. He was making those for just small fees, making little intros and editing their videos and stuff. So not really much to speak of for him, which is the amazing story because it's his project. He's the founder. I work for Elsie for sure. And he's really changed his life, and I'm really proud to be part of that journey and kind of be a conduit for his mushroom kingdom.
Wow. Yeah. The art is like incredible. I mean, it's honestly like one of the best artworks, probably the best I've ever seen. I also, yeah, like it's just because first of all, a lot of projects are 2D, right? So these are 3D and they're moving and like they're walking and they just like so like freaking cool. So
I have a question for you though, Jennifer, to flip reverse things. How do you see them? Like the problem we have with the non-fungible fungi is I guess it doesn't appeal much as a profile picture, right? Like what makes the fungi like resonate with you? Like what do you like about it? Are you like holding the mushrooms and being part of the community? Because it's difficult to really express it, like to show the mushroom. We understand that it doesn't have a face. Yeah. People can't really feel like they're the mushroom. That's what I'm trying to understand these days.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if there's a way to like download like a picture, because I was like, oh, how do I make this my profile pic? But I mean, I don't know. I just like looking at them. Like I'll literally sometimes just look at my collection and like just go to the video and like watch them. And I just think they're just very visually aesthetically pleasing. And I'm a fan of like mushrooms and like, you know, psychedelics and stuff. So I just think they're cool. Yeah. And I kind of like resonate with them. And I like that I was thinking about this because I was thinking about, do they look feminine or masculine? And I was like, they really, I know a lot of people are like, oh, our profile pictures are genderless. And it's like, sometimes it's like, no, they don't look genderless to me. Like they look like they have gender, but these literally do look genderless. Like I was looking at them, I'm just like, they literally don't look feminine or masculine. They just look like, what they are. And I also really like that about them as well.
That was a big part of the project. Initially, when we were approaching it, we wanted it to be a project for everyone. And I mean that in all senses of the word. I wanted it to be appealing for people that are new to the NFT space, people that are veterans, people who are financial investors, people who are collectors, people who are a fan of art, people who are a fan of 3D art, animation, psychedelics. We wanted to make sure that everyone from all walks of life felt like they could find something in the project that they click with and they find something that's cool. Like you don't have to be a huge tripper into psychedelics to enjoy our project. It certainly helps, I'll say that. But at the same time, we offer so much other stuff. We have a focus on musicians and other artists, and we have artist spotlights every month and ongoing competitions that involve real life activation. So we don't just do like and retweet this to win an allow list or whatever like that. We try and get people to, like last month, we did a cookery competition where we had like 200 entries of people going out and creating their own dishes and releasing the recipes. We have mycology competitions where you have to go out and forage the best mushroom that was actually judged by Dennis McKenna as well, like one of the most leading mycologists in the world. We've done some really cool activations. That's something I pride myself on. Like you said, I was the business development manager initially, but it's like I do so much, and everyone does on the team. We're such a small team, but we try and create something that's like, what would we find cool? What isn't phoning it in? It might take more effort. It might not necessarily be as high impact as the cliche stuff, but we try and make stuff that's different, engaging, and hopefully brings a community spirit. So that's what I'm trying to bring in the mushrooms. Like I know it's not necessarily a profile picture that works. It's an animated thing. Like you said, we got a bit shortchanged when Twitter announced the NFT profile pictures. We thought, oh, they're animated. If they accept the animation, we're golden. But that hasn't come yet.
Right. Oh yeah, animated profile pictures. That'd be really cool. I wanted to ask how many people were on the team, because I know you said you have a small team right now.
So initially there were 4 of us to begin with. We have myself, Sims, Elsie. We have Swift as well, who I think you know, right?
Yeah. One of the co-founders of Evaluate Market, which is the company I work for, is an advisor for you guys, right?
Amazing. Yeah, he kind of advises with the kind of technical stuff, the contract, and making sure that everything in that respect was looked after. And he's just kind of been with us ever since. And then we have Alex as well, who's the latest hire and the final member of the team. He's the UX manager, the user experience. So anything that kind of falls under the website, any game designs we have, anything that the users will interact with front facing, he will be looking after and kind of works with me on a daily basis as well. We do a lot of writing together. We do all the articles and come up with all the activations, all the community stuff. And it's a very small team. But we have obviously mods beneath us as well. But that's about it. And that's why we don't necessarily keep up with some of the pacing of other projects like that. That's definitely fair. But like I mentioned, the reason we are a bit slower is because we have to do everything like actually that legally and make sure it's properly done via UK laws. And that's one thing that does slow us down a little bit, but it's a good thing in the bigger scale.
Right. I don't want to hog this whole interview. So Michael, you have a question?
No, you're good. I mean, I was thinking of some different questions. So what about, so the Mogs and the Myers are the different species. What is, I know obviously other than rarity, what are the differences? What are the advantages? How's that maybe going to play out in the future for people that are collecting when they're looking which ones to buy?
Sure. So yeah, you have 3 different species. You've got the Bog, the Myers, and the Magics. Magic, yeah. So the Magics are like the Holy Grails. There's only 30.
Right, and the Magic,
available.
yeah.
Just a note on that as well. Coming up tomorrow on the 17th, we have our first reveal event of the Magics, and basically what that means is those are our one-of-ones, handmade special mushrooms. So they're being released. So the ones they're currently contained in the fridges.
I see that. Yeah, okay. Yep.
They get open tomorrow, so everyone will find out what magic mushroom they've got. And if you haven't checked those out, I really urge you to go to our Twitter and have a look at some of the ones that have been created. I'm sure you've seen a couple of them, but the handmade one-of-ones are really quite special. They're like the best thing we do.
There's actually one that's been revealed, isn't there? Now that I'm looking on OpenSea.
Oh yeah, that's the Movember one. So that's when we did a partnership with the charity Movember last year for obviously the month of November. So we raised $60,000 for them, and they got their first.
Oh, that's dope.
NFT,
that's really cool.
That was an official partnership with Movember. That was the first one. Yes, and we've got the rest of them coming out after that. Yes, indeed. Yeah, 3 collections. So yeah, we have got this could take a while to get through everything, but we basically have 3 collections. The Genesis collection, which is 100 pieces. We have the Min Pass collection of spore jars, which are 10,000. And then we have the main mushroom collection as well, which is 10,000. The spore jars, there's only 400 of those left, because to find the mushroom, you have to open a spore jar. And that's where the remaining magics are contained as well. So like I said, we're revealing 27 tomorrow. There's actually 3 more left. So that's, for me, when the hype really starts in this project, when we reveal the artwork of the magics tomorrow, people are going to want them. They're going to want to find those last 3 remaining in the 400 jars that remain. And that kind of system, we kind of wanted to feel like it's, remember opening old Pokemon cards, like the first edition, looking for Charizards? That's the kind of mechanic we're trying to create with the jars. We want to make sure that you can either hold on to your Pokemon cards, you don't have to open them necessarily, and they'll go up in rarity and value just by people looking for the magics and stuff like that. And that's a very viable strategy. If you just wanted to hold on to a jar and play the speculation game, that's kind of one of the interesting things about them. So that's why people love the jars so much. They're still relevant. And just a note on the jars as well, we have a partnership with the Beckley Foundation, who specialize in psychedelic research and drug policy reform, and they're our main partners. So we talked about a special one-of-one mushroom from November. Our original one-of-one mushroom was with the Beckley Foundation. We managed to do $200,000 for psychedelic research in that activation, and we're continuing to give 1% of all revenue from the jar collections to them as well. So psychedelics, big part of what we're doing. The collection, it's very deep and complicated across the board. Hopefully that gives you like a cursory kind of glance at it. But yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions. We can get into it.
Okay, so the floor on the non-fungible fungi collection itself, the mushrooms, is 0.17. The floor on the Mint Pass, the jars basically is, which there's only like 400, is 0.6. And then the Genesis, I need to click on the Genesis just for our listeners to kind of get an idea. The floor on the Genesis, which there's 100 of those, is 5.5. And then I don't know how to find the fridges.
So the fridges, they are on the main collection, the generative collection. You'd have to go to like a rarity tool or something like that. There's only 30 of them, so they're quite difficult to find. But the floor of those is currently 16 ETH, I think, right now for a fridge.
Yeah, if you go on the left side of OpenSea under species, you can check magic and they'll show up.
There you go. That's okay. Yeah, so that's why those are really hyped right now. So basically, no one knows what they're going to get tomorrow. Yeah. So we have a reveal system where we're having a live stream where it's going to be Sims will be on camera. We'll be wearing a little suit and everything. He's going to be pulling balls out of a bag and revealing which fridge is getting which mushroom. That's the idea tomorrow. So we're going to be doing that on YouTube, streaming it live, and everyone can see what they physically get from the video feed. And I think that's pretty cool. It's a different way of doing it. It's not on chain for sure, but it's a bit more fun and a bit more pageantry for people online. So that's what we're doing.
Nice. That's exciting. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Even though I don't.
We're trying to make a whole show out of it. Like, we have a broadcast background as well. Like, Sims and I were both on camera talent for esports. So we're hoping to be on a bit of a show, a bit of a spectacle, make it fun, like a 2-hour community night. So yeah, that's all coming up.
Hey, that's exciting. Perfect timing too. Man, should I redeem my, or should I try to like, so can I redeem my like jar to like see if I get a magic, or is that not a thing?
That's the idea, exactly.
Oh,
It's just because there's only 400 or so jars left now and only 3 magics to find. It's just like there's a chance you get a bog, right? Good chance you'll find a bog. So that's the game everyone's playing right now. There's speculation behind the jars. Who is brave enough to open up one and potentially open up a bog? Like you said, it would go with the jar, to go from 0.6 value to 0.17 potentially if you've got a floor bog come through. So it's always a kind of seesaw there. I think that's the big question now. A lot of people don't want to open the jars, but also if you want to find that magic, you want to hit that 16E floor, then yeah, you're gonna have to. So yeah, that's a really interesting mechanic we tried to bake into it, and it seems to be working out perfectly. People really enjoy that.
That's fun. Do you have any plans to make like physical 3D models at all?
Yeah, like we're currently undergoing a full rebrand right now. You might have seen on our Twitters and kind of social medias in general, we hired a guy called Paper Diamond, very renowned artist within the music scene especially, and in Web3 as well. Like, he's an amazing designer. He's going to be taking our current branding, which is, if you ask me, a bit subpar, which is fine to say. I did it all. It's all my vision, and it was quite rushed, and it doesn't necessarily represent us very well. We have a full rebrand coming, which will include a brand new website, a full range of merch that will be the highest possible quality you can imagine, and indeed we'll be offering 3D printing on mushrooms. We've had a couple of examples made. We've had a couple of examples made, and they're really, really cool. And we want to offer that service via Spore, which is going to be the native token to the mushrooms. Every mushroom generates Spore. We want to offer the merch, we'll offer the 3D printings of these mushrooms via Spore, and obviously give that a real use case. So those are the plans. The rebrand I'm super excited about, and I'm starting to get the first glimmers of it this week. It's looking really fucking cool. Like, that part of it, like the culture of the brand and making sure it has an identity and it kind of fits a bit more than what we currently have, is super important to me. Kind of following that trail of the psychedelic stuff and making sure that's obvious when you're looking at an Non-Fungible Fungi logo. That's what we're going for. And I think that's going to be a real difference maker for us, and people can start like recognizing not just the mushrooms, but also the brand, the concept, the people behind it. And hopefully that all comes together. Like, this is a very important couple of months for us.
Wow. Okay. You just said so much that I want to dive into, but talk to us about the token, because I know you guys came out with your whole 2022 roadmap. I had mentioned it. I had kind of summarized it on the podcast a couple episodes ago. And I know one of the first things you're doing for Q1 is you're launching a token. So can you kind of tell us like what is like the token for? I know you just said, it'll be redeemable for merch. I know there's a whole conjuring and everything. Can you tell us about that?
Conjuring is obviously a bit of a complicated mechanic we're bringing into it, but something I think is super cool. If you're listening to this right now, I suggest you go to our Twitter and pull up the roadmap Jen just mentioned, because that's exactly what you're going to have to look at. A conjuring circle is going to require 10 mushrooms. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have 10 mushrooms, I've only got 1. Well, that's how it's designed, actually, because the idea is we'll be creating a system where the community team up and they place their mushrooms together into a conjuring circle with the chance of bringing together a nightshade, which is the new collection that's coming out. The caveat to all that is you do have to have one of our Genesis mushrooms or one of the magic mushrooms present to be the leader, I suppose, of the conjuring circle. That's obviously providing value to the Genesis holders, the people that find the magic mushrooms. That kind of keeps the whole ecosystem going. The Genesis mushrooms, especially, they're considered our initial investors. We try and give them as much value as possible going forward in the ecosystem. But all of this, to answer your question, revolves around Spore. To take part in the conjuring process, you have to deposit your own Spore. It takes Spore to initiate the conjuring circle as a whole. That Spore is burnt. And then at that stage, there'll be a set waiting time. I don't want to get into the details. I'll get shouted at if I go into the actual specifics. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. I know I'll get crucified. There's a set amount of time that you'll have to wait, and those items will be staked at that point. And then one of the users in the Conjuring Circle will be rewarded with the Nightshade, and one mushroom must die as well. Every circle you enter, there is a chance of death. A mushroom will be taken down. So that's the gamified aspect of it, I suppose. You have a chance of getting one of the new Nightshades or potentially losing your bog, whatever you put in there. That's not applicable to the Genesis or the Magics in there. But yeah, the Nightshade collection is going to be, I suppose, the evil sort of mushrooms. They're the other look of the spectrum. They're not as cute and fluffy as the previous ones you've seen. So that's something to look out for.
Ooh.
We are working night and day right now, trying to get the token ready, the Conjuring sequence as well, making sure it launches together. And it's actually something that's impressive and people want to be taking part in. Like, I hear you as well when you mentioned, like, oh, you talked about the merch. You talked about this stuff. I know that's super cliche, super boring, and people are sick to death of that being the only use case. Very aware of that. And I will be offering all that stuff as well. But I know people want real utility. They want real game mechanics and a way to enjoy the sport, even if it's just a blockchain gamified aspect. They want to be able to do cool things with their mushrooms, potentially earn some spore back as well and do cool things with that. We know. And like I said, I buy a lot of projects these days on lots of different networks. I do a lot of research. I know what people want. I know what I'd like to see. And that's what we're trying to create. And we're taking our time, making sure the spore token is what it says on the tin. We've invested a lot of money on tokenomics experts coming in and working with us for weeks, creating the perfect ecosystem for this. So something is very important to us. Again, I can't go into specifics too much, but that's pretty much a overall look into it. And it's going to be a big moment for us. That's kind of when I feel like everyone will be aware of the mushrooms once the Conjuring comes around.
Right. So if you have a fungi, you will get tokens and it's kind of tiered based on like the species, right?
Exactly. So every mushroom generates spore daily. That will just be going into a wallet on the system, like the new website, the new rebrand is going to be a whole mushroom portal that'll be launching in the coming months. And going from Bog, Maya to Magic, and Genesis as well. Genesis, as a rule of thumb, 700% more spore than any other mushrooms, just for a kickoff. Yeah, so owning a Genesis mushrooms are kind of a big deal. Then going forward into the generative collection, Bogs earn the lowest, Mayas earn the mid-tier, and then Magics earn the most. And just it depends on how many wallets you have. Sorry, how many mushrooms you have in your wallet. It all compounds. It's not limited to one. If you have 10 mushrooms in your wallet, you'll get 10 rates of spore coming through.
Do the airdrops, and by the way, you guys sent the cutest Valentine's Day airdrop to all fungi. Yes, it was so cute. I literally woke up and I checked it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. It's like a little fungi, like a chocolate fungi. Like, and
I'm glad about that. Like, I know it's not a huge deal, but just receiving a little gift like that on special holidays and just seeing it arrive in your wallet, I think it's a nice little gesture. And Elsie works really hard to make sure that you do get that reaction. He did an amazing one for Christmas as well. I did a Halloween one. So yeah, it's a small gesture, but everyone seems to love it. So yeah, thank you for saying that. I'll tell Elsie.
Yeah, and they're on the Polygon network too, which I like when things are on the Polygon network, to be honest. And you guys are doing like 9 more airdrops this year, which I'm excited.
Yeah, kind of nuts, isn't it? Like when we committed to that, I was like, guys, are you sure? Like we are quite busy as it is. But yeah, they wanted to do it. So yeah, every month or so, we're going to be committing to some sort of event or holiday that you'll get a little Polygon cute little drop in your wallet. So yeah, look out for those.
Do those get any tokens at all or no?
I am in very initial talks with people what we can offer. I want this to be like a collection, right? So the idea is if you collected them all and if you've been collecting them from the start, there's something that might happen in the future. That's what I'll say. Just don't sell them for the $100 you can get. I would say hold on to them and see what happens in the future.
Okay. Noted.
Yes.
Like it. How many have we missed so far? The chocolate box is the only one I've gotten.
There was 2 more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can pick those up pretty easily. So I say grab those.
There were 2 more before that. Okay.
Yeah, they're super cheap and on Polygon pretty easy to find. So.
Yeah, I might try and snag that. And if anyone, I was gonna say, if anyone's looking for their Twitter, it's actually just @fungible fungi. It took me a minute to find it, so I just wanted to make sure. that people know where that's at.
We'll have to
Fungible
add it in the
fungi.
show notes as well. So
Yeah. So the tokens is a big part of if you're going to buy your Mire or Bog to look at that, because you're going to get more tokens with the Mire.
Yeah, well, that's a good question for Jen. I guess I assumed, Jen, you're buying the Myers for that reason, or maybe you're just more of the aesthetic. I don't know. What's your reasoning for it?
Well, I do like the aesthetic a little more on the, maybe it's because I know they're like a little more scarce, so then I am naturally like a little more inclined to like them, I guess. But yeah, I did know that they're getting more, because I was reading and they're getting more tokens. I was like, oh, let me try to focus on these, and then just putting in wreath offers, and literally every single day I like check to see if there's any like really aesthetic ones that I like on the floor that I can snag, even though like I'm like, oh, I should probably stop buying them. I already have 13, but
no, that's definitely the strat. Like there's like 5 or 6 people I know that are running the same strat as you, just trying to snipe all their favorite Myers across the board, and I just find it so funny. I know all of you are, and I watch the kind of the bot going through, and I see your same names coming in buying Myers. So very strong strat. Respect.
Hey. Okay, so also I saw on your guys' Twitter, Non-Fungible Fungi becomes the first NFT project to partner with Tenor at Google as the official GIF partner. What does that mean? Exactly.
What does that mean? Good point. So that basically means that when you go onto Discord, WhatsApp, Instagram, do you know when you hit the GIF button to drop a GIF, everything, those services are done through Tenor. Tenor is owned by Google. I'm not saying this is a direct partnership with Google, but that's kind of like, as you can see, that's how it kind of waters down. And technically, I suppose it is. But yeah, you can type in, eventually you'll be able to type in whatever fungi you have. So if I type in fungi 99 into Tenor right now, I can pull up my fungi here and drop an HD GIF of the animated fungi into the Discord. It's my fungi. It's the one I've chosen. And that's the first NFT project that's been on there. Tenor took all of our assets, all like 12,000 assets we have. They converted all of them into GIFs themselves to their lab and uploaded the process themselves as well. And we're the first NFT project to be taken onto that platform, which has over 300 million users. And eventually, once it gets a bit more populated, we're hoping that the word NFT will be synonymous in there with the fungi and kind of rise them to the top. So it's not a massive deal, like when you look at it like that, but knowing the user base for Tenor and how difficult it is to get an official partnership with them, especially as we work in a controversial space like NFTs, it's a really big deal. And we're really happy we've got that one over the line. And hopefully Tenor becomes a huge thing, because I think they're looking to pick up more NFT projects as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty huge. And also, if, I don't know, if in the future there's a way to make your Twitter profile picture like a GIF or something, that would be pretty sweet.
That's the dream. That is the dream. I was so gutted when that didn't happen. When they said they were announcing it, I said they're not going to do it. It's more about the PFP culture. And I think it'll come one day, because you remember, you used to be able to have GIFs on Twitter back in the day. That was a thing. Like back in 2014, that wasn't a problem. I think it will come back. I just think it won't be till next year eventually. So we're still hopeful, I guess.
Yeah. Also, the fungi, I think, I feel like 2D profile picture projects are kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe they're a little popular now, but moving forward, especially if, the metaverse, becomes more popular and everything, you want 3D things. And like the fungi, they're already these 3D models that are walking and everything. And I just feel like they're like metaverse ready, already, which is
absolutely. I feel like walking projects, as they're being coined as now, they are the future. Like with things like Invisible Friends coming out soon. Like I'm just gonna say it, our project did start the walking meta in terms of like the first animated 3D, or not even 3D, animated walking projects, and it's a really cool idea. We started that, and I feel like we are gonna get caught in the wave that causes from Invisible Friends. That's gonna be like we're gonna get a pump from those guys. I feel like that is very true. Good observation that PFP pictures are like kind of dying out a little bit. Like sure, they'll always be popular, but they're not meta right now. It's changing daily, and I feel like people want the higher quality stuff. They want to see more animated 3D projects, and like I said, with Visible Friends, very high quality. I think that will help us out regardless of what Twitter does. So really excited for that one as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited for your guys' project. It reminds me a lot of the BYO pills. Do you know the BYO pills?
I'm aware of them, not with the artwork too much.
Well, when they first came out, for a couple of months they were just kind of chilling like around mint price and like 0.08, whatever, but they just looked so freaking cool. Like the animated pill, like they just looked so awesome. And then they start just releasing all these things that they had been working on, and everyone like realized that, oh my god, this is a really cool project. But I think it's also just like noticing things early, before everybody else kind of realizes that, this is something amazing, and having a good eye for things. And I think art can be pretty telling a lot of the times. And like, with the fungi, it's like, even if it was literally just, okay, we're not doing anything, it's only art. Like, I just feel like they just look so cool. And
do you know what? Sometimes there's part of me that wishes we just did that. I think we probably would have been more successful if we just said, you know what? It's just a vibe, guys. Like, we'd have done that. I dare say we might have been better off, but we didn't do that.
It's funny. It's a fine line because when you're building the project,
exactly,
you want to do so much because you don't know if there's going to be hype. You don't know if it's going to sell out as you're building it. But like, like once there's so much, you're like, maybe we're doing a little too much here. I know what you mean. It's a fine line.
Yeah, and it's just because like people are insatiable in this industry, right? They get, their attention span is not very big. It's whatever's popular, whatever's kind of meta at that time, whatever the flavor of the month is kicking off. That's what they want. And they're asking you, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done this project instead? Why haven't your 6-month-old project innovated within the last week and changed this around? It's just like, that's a problem. And we've had to, like, our roadmap has had to change a couple of times because things that were really popular when we first started just aren't really that relevant anymore. I'll be honest, like, the whole conversation around the metaverse, I think, is a really interesting one. I think we've all got a bit lost to what that actually means these days. And like, let's talk about what metaverse experiences are actually available right now. They all kind of suck. I won't lie to you. Like, I've done a lot of research in and entered a lot of metaverses, and they're all quite cringe and a bit underpopulated and kind of like just a version of VR chat. I don't think they're that inspiring. I think it's an interesting concept. Okay. But I don't know, it feels like people wanted that because it was popular a few months ago. I think the reality is we're not really there yet, and no one's really done an amazing job of it. It's all speculation. Like, people are buying loads of Decentraland or Sandbox, whatever. There's investment opportunities down to speculation, right? And I don't want to put all of our resources into something that's complete speculation, and I've used it myself, and it's just not that cool. It's like, it's fine. It's kind of interesting to run around as your avatar. But unless there's a reason for it, unless there's a point, I don't just want to be making things just for the sake of it, just to say we have this thing. So that's why we've definitely got the potential to make the metaverse and kind of enter there. But for me and our esports background, I would like it to be a competitive game that you are your mushroom inside a kind of a more kind of closed in arena sort of vibe. I'm thinking like Squid Game for mushrooms in a closed environment where you're actually yourself and playing little mini games. That would be cool. That kind of doesn't exist right now. I don't know. What are your opinion on that? Is there any metaverses like you've been in, you thought, wow, this is actually really good?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, not really. It's like, you're right. There's not, super enticing stuff. I mean, I think when people think of metaverse, they're kind of envisioning like Ready Player One, like,
exactly.
And
it's
you're right.
Just not that, is it? It's just clunky. It's like low FPS. It's all Unreal Engine assets. It's just like, it's just exhausting. It's just like, I come from the games industry. Like, I know how games are made. I can see, like, I recognize the assets they've used in the library. I'm just like, this is underwhelming. This is not what it's advertised as. And I don't think we'll be there for the next 2 years at least until something like, I would be proud to say, oh yeah, we're part of this metaverse thing. But we're in, like, I take every meeting from all these companies. We get approached all the time by every metaverse and kind of experience you can imagine. And we hear them out. I'm desperate for someone to really blow me away and prove me wrong that this can be done on chain in a really convincing way that makes sense, and they can incorporate new projects in a seamless way. And I'm sure it's coming. I'm not trying to shit on everyone who's trying to do that, by the way. I'm just saying, from what I've seen so far, what's available in present day, just like, no wonder NFTs, some people think they're a bit weird and strange because the metaverse looks odd. It looks like it is not needed.
Yeah, we're still dialing into AOL with the metaverses, is what you're. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool that you guys I feel like you guys are doing a lot of innovative and different type of things. And I almost feel like you guys are like, you don't really care what's like super popular and what other people are doing. Like you're trying to stay in your own lane and like build out like this whole project and kind of do what you feel is best. And I think that's really cool. And I just feel like you guys are doing a lot of cool things in the space. And I don't know, I'm excited to be a part of the journey, just here along for the ride and enjoying my fungi and everything. And yeah.
Yeah. It's actually funny you brought up BYO pills. That's another one of the projects that we've really been about since the beginning of this podcast. And I can pinpoint the moment that they blew up. If you remember, they had that video with a guy running down the hallway and flipping the apostle. Wasn't that kind of when people were like, wow, they're really doing something. So like maybe, I don't know, like eventually there's going to be something with the mushrooms that people are going to see it. And they're just going to be like, oh, this is what's going on.
I guess on one note there, one thing I will say that separates us from everyone, if you haven't seen our animated video trailers yet, I don't think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
We've done a terrible job at advertising them, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen them, get on our Discord or go for our Twitter, like where the trailers are. There's 2 video trailers out there. That's an example of the quality LZ is able to bring together. He's one artist making these studio quality, like I dare say Pixar level animations, and a one-man band that does it all together. If you didn't know the potential of the fungi before, check out those trailers, and it will hopefully change your mind, and you'll see the reason why people are so excited about the mushrooms.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to find those?
Good point, bro. That's actually a really good point. I will link it to you. They're on our Discord. If you go to the links channel on our Discord, official links, it's all in there.
And then also if you go to the fungi.app.
That's true. Yeah, they're on the website as well, right? Yeah, they're on the main page, the splash page, the fungi.app. There you go. Yeah, you should know more than me. It's on the homepage. You can click it there and you can watch the video.
It's funny that you mentioned,
there you go.
The fungi, thefungi.app.
How do you get to the website? Fungi? Is it just
I actually
F-U-N? The fungi.
Convinced my friend to buy a bunch of fungi. I think he's up to like 30 or something. And
wow.
And I showed him the videos. I was like, watch this. And the videos, like they sold them. The videos plus everything else I told him. But
I really, like I said, I'm going to, this week I'm going to make sure we make a bigger deal on these videos, because it's crazy to me. Like most people love the Mushroom Project and they haven't even seen the videos. I'm like, wait, you bought into it without even seeing the trailers? Like that's the reason everyone buys. Wait till you see this and you'll see the potential of all of this. So that's a good point. The fact like I'm struggling to even answer the question where the videos are, it's a very good point, and we should do a better job of making them more easily accessible. So yeah, check that out. The videos are huge.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm watching one. That's kind of, people love that stuff. I mean, it's that's awesome. That is really cool.
Yeah, we want to do more of that. We're just, like I said, it's one guy doing everything in terms of creating the mushrooms and making all that animation, rendering it. Like he does every step of that process. I kind of help him with the scripts a little bit. That's about it.
Wow. Well, let's see. Michael, you have any last minute questions before we wrap this up? This has been really, really fun so far. Like I definitely have to listen to this one back again too, because my brother, his first NFT is a fungi as well.
Wow, you're like a little brand ambassador.
I know. What the heck? I'm just obsessed. I'm just passionate.
Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea. The whole Discord.
I hope we continue to give you a reason to praise us like that. It's so cool. We work really, really hard, and that's the reason we do it as well. Like the mushrooms really are my life. Like I wake up every day, we go through a list, we just write up everything we can, work out what's going to be achieved that day, and we're really passionate about this, and hopefully we can share that passion with everyone else.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing that is really, really obvious is that you guys are working hard and you're very passionate, and the community appreciates that. And there's a lot of room to grow. I see you have, it's like 3,600 holders. Like, so there's room, but you get right. Not even a lot of work to do. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's room there. So you get like 1,000 more people know about it. You end up with 45. That's a huge deal for a project. You know what I mean? And It's not all that many people. Something crazy happens. That could happen. The switch turns quick.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say is that we've never worked with quote unquote like an influencer or anything like that. We've never paid anyone to work with us. Like, I'm not saying any other projects do that, just to be clear. I'm just saying like we haven't.
Sure. Well, they do. They do.
You don't have to. Yeah. Well, my point is like I for better or for worse, again, might have just shot myself in the foot by even suggesting this when we first started the project. I said we're never paying anyone to like pump our project or say it's good.
Okay.
It's all organic, and the same thing with our competitions and stuff like that. We've never paid anyone to be involved. We've never asked anyone to take free product and do something for us. And I look back on it now and I admit that might have been a bad call, but I'm hoping in the long run people will recognize and people do work with us, like, and they do really sing our praises, and lots of big names have. It's real and it's organic and you can trust it. And I'm happy to answer any questions and put my name on the line on everything we do. Like I said, like we're one of the few docs teams, so we're very, very careful with that stuff. Like there's new dramas every day in the NFT scene. Like I'm seeing another massive one kick off this evening, and we try and avoid all that shit if we can. We try and treat everyone fairly and make sure everything's as transparent as possible. And hopefully that's reflected in what we're doing, and it seems like it is. So yeah, thank you for the comment.
It does seem like it. And you guys are having a town hall on the February. So today is February 16th. Yes. Where are you at? Are you like in the UK?
I'm in Malta. So I'm in Europe. So on Central.
Oh, are you? Okay, yeah.
The town hall is tomorrow on the 17th, and that's taking place at 8 p.m. UK time. So that's probably like, I don't know,
3 p.m. I think 3 p.m. Eastern.
That's,
don't quote me on that, but
right. But yeah, tomorrow evening in Europe, we're doing the big reveal. It's gonna be a live stream where we're gonna be going through every single magic mushroom reveal. They are absolutely fucking dope. You're gonna want to check those out. Cool. Come for the live show, see what people get. And I think, to be honest with you, that's when the mushrooms will start flying, because people are gonna want to get hold of the one they specifically want. The one I'm after is Bog Marley. Look out for him. That's what I'm gonna be going for.
Bog Marley?
Bog Marley, yeah, it's my absolute
what does it look like? Can you say?
It's he's on our Twitter. Yeah, he's been released. He's basically the most weed centric one we have. He's got a huge joint in his mouth and he's just covered in.
Oh, Bob Marley.
Leaves.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, no, I saw the Bob Marley one. Oh my god,
Jennifer heard Molly and she got all excited.
I was like, Molly, wait. So what does it look like exactly? Oh my god.
Yeah. So there you go.
Bob Marley. That's really funny.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want to go for, and that's going to be my forever shroom if I can get it. So that's what it's all. This whole journey's been about. Is me getting hold of that specific shroom. The battle commences tomorrow, and the magic reveal.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what's going to be happening.
Yeah, I like that you're into it and collecting and playing the game as well. So
dude, yeah, like cool I'm 33 years old. I still collect. I've got one of the best Pokemon card collections in Europe. I collect shit like nonstop. Yeah, like I collect shit nonstop. I love this stuff. So collectibles is always a big part for me. Like I mentioned Pokemon cards before. Yeah, I love that stuff, and I like people like feeling like they kind of they own it. It belongs to them. They kind of feel like it's part of their little family. You know, that's the vibe we're trying to create.
Yep.
And hopefully we're getting there. I know, like I said, I appreciate being kind. There is a lot of work to do. We are a small team, but the work that is being done behind the scenes right now, it's been stellar. And just a few more weeks, and we'll be rolling out all of these amazing things we've been talking about. And we're not trying to make a huge deal out of it. We're just hoping along the way, doing these like more podcasts, Twitter spaces and stuff, people will organically come and join us. There's no crazy marketing plan going down. It's all just going to be this sort of thing, and hopefully people fuck with it along the way and join us for the journey.
Yes. Y'all should give away a fun guy on your Twitter or something soon. Anyway, but yes, thank you guys, or not thank you guys. Thank you, Henry, for coming on the show. Hopefully everyone listening really enjoyed this. I know I enjoyed this. This is great. Had a fun guy time.
There we go.
Henry's a fun guy. Henry's a fun guy.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. Like, I haven't done many of these like podcasts. I'm going to do more of them. I listened to your guys' show last week for the first time. I thought it was really cool. So yeah, always happy to come on and chat. If you want to be a guest in the future, just hit me up.
Beautiful.
Sounds great.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.